Living in the spirit. Yeah. Living in the spirit.
Welcome back to Living in the Spirit, where we breathe deep, listen close, and lean into the movement of God in our everyday lives. I am your host, Apostle Sharyn Cosby. And today we will step into a sacred memory. We step into a story that is both national and deeply personal. We step into a truth that still breathes through our bones. Yes, just a few days ago, around the country, individuals celebrated what is known as Juneteenth. Today, I want to give you a topic or a title for today's episode. What is Juneteenth to me? See, Juneteenth is not just a holiday on a calendar. It is not just a moment of celebration. It is a spiritual marker. Let me say that again. It is a spiritual marker, a generational echo. It is a reminder of what freedom costs, what freedom demands, and what freedom still requires of us today. See, for me, Juneteenth is tied to a place, Red River County, Texas, about 20 miles outside of Paris, Texas. That is where my maternal ancestors lived. They labored and survived on a plantation. They were there when freedom should have occurred or come in 1863. They were still there when freedom finally arrived in 1865, and their story is woven into mine. So today, I want to share what Juneteenth means to me, spiritually, historically, and yes, prophetically, and why my heart both rejoices in the celebration and laments as we look at where our nation stands right now. See, when we speak of Juneteenth, it's not speaking as an observer of history. I'm speaking as a descendant of history. My ancestors were on that Texas soil, enslaved in Red River County, where the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. It was Texas that refused to acknowledge freedom, acknowledge the proclamation. Slaveholders refused to release their slaves. The system refused to let them go. Why? Because it was making them money. So they waited, and they worked, and they prayed, and they hoped. My ancestors did. Until June 19th, 1865, when General Gordon Granger arrived in a place called Galveston, Texas, and declared that all enslaved people were free. See, Juneteenth is a day that news finally reached the soil where my people stood. It is a day that chains that should have been broken long ago were finally shattered. It is a day that delayed justice met divine timing. See, Juneteenth tells the truth that we were not free by the goodness of America. I know people don't want to hear that, but it is the truth. And what the Word of God says, it is the truth that you know that sets you free. But we were freed by the persistence of God and the resilience of a people. My ancestors survived the plantation. They survived the lash. They survived the lie that they were property. They survived the delay of their own liberation. And they did more than just survive. They built, they created, they worshiped, they dreamed. They raised children who raised me. Juneteenth reminds me that I'm standing on the prayers of people who never saw freedom until the very end, but believed in it anyway. And yet, as I look at our nation right now, my heart does lament, because I see a country that is taking giant steps backwards, steps that threaten the progress our ancestors bled for. I see voting rights under attack. I see history trying to be erased in classrooms. I see racial violence rising. I see policies that echo old patterns. I see a nation that wants the celebration of Juneteenth without the accountability of justice. I lament. Because how can we celebrate freedom while watching freedom erode? Yes, I lament. How can we honor our ancestors while ignoring the systems that they fought to dismantle? Yes, I lament. How can we wave a flag while refusing to face the truth of what that flag has meant for people of color? See, Juneteenth forces us to ask some hard questions. Juneteenth refuses to let America pretend. Juneteenth demands honesty. But there's hope. What they say, Martin Luther King, keep hope alive? I believe that was Jesse Jackson. Juneteenth is not just a memory. It's a mandate. Yes, I have hope and I'm trying to keep it alive. It calls us to keep fighting for the freedom our ancestors were denied. It calls us to protect the progress that is slipping through our fingers. It calls us to stand in the gap for the next generation. I pray, not just for my generation, but for my kids and my kids' kids and my kids' kids' kids. I pray for future generations. Juneteenth says to us, do not delay. Do not allow justice to be delayed. For the delay of justice become the death of justice. So delay of justice cannot be. Juneteenth says freedom delayed must not become freedom denied. Juneteenth says remember where you come from so you can stand firm in where you're going. So I speak this over every listener today. Hear me clearly. You are the dream of the enslaved. You are the hope of the emancipated. You are the continuation of a story that did not end in 1865. You are the living proof that God does bring liberation, even when the world tries to resist it. So what is Juneteenth to me? Yes, it's memory, but it's also mourning. It's a miracle, but it's also a mandate. It is a story of my ancestors, my maternal ancestors in Red River County, Texas, who were waiting for freedom that should have already been theirs. It is a story of a nation that is still wrestling with its soul. It's a story of the people who refuse to give up, refuse to give in, and will not go back. It is a story of a God who walks with the oppressed, who lifts the bowed down and declares freedom when the world tries to delay it. My sisters and my brothers, we honor Juneteenth, not just on June 19th, but June the 20th, June the 21st, June the 22nd, June the 23rd, June the 24th, all the way through July, August, September, October, November. We honor not just the day, but may we honor the truth. May we honor the struggle. May we honor the progress. And may we commit ourselves, spirit, soul, and body, to the ongoing work of liberation. It's not time to throw in the towel. It is time to stand up, stand straight, stand firmly, and don't give up, don't give in, don't move back, Don't settle for less, but to keep on pushing forward. This is Apostle Sharyn, and you have been listening to another episode of Living in the Spirit. I pray that you heard my heart today, and I invite you to stay rooted, stay rising, stay free. I also pray that this episode has blessed you and that you would choose to click that subscribe button and follow me. Until next time, keep living in